Hi, my name is Adele Douglas. I'm going to be doing my topic on teens using social media. So some of the main issues being faced are teens who use social media have a number of problems that can affect their general development, mental health, and well-being. One of the main issues is cyberbullying. This can affect a teen's mental health because of the harassment, intimidation, or humiliation being used on all of these platforms, and it can result in anxiety, sadness, or even suicidal thoughts. It can cause an impact on social skills. An adolescent's capacity to build solid interpersonal skills and create lasting relationships may be impaired by an excessive amount of screen usage, which can also diminish in-person contacts. Misinformation and online hoaxes. This may cause teens to be susceptible to believing false or misleading content because they lack the critical thinking abilities necessary to discern between factual and misleading information. A lot of online hoaxes happen because there's false info or fake news that will happen on these platforms, and they have no credible information, but a lot of people will just believe them because they are being put all over the social media. Some laws being put into place are the Kids Online Safety Act by U.S. Senator Mark R. Warner and his 27 colleagues. And this Kids Online Safety Act gives parents and children the resources, security measures, and openness they need to guard against risks encountered online. According to the bill, social media companies must enable a number of safeguards against algorithmic suggestions and addictive design by default. In order to guarantee that social media companies are effectively mitigating threats to children, it is also necessary to implement privacy safeguards, establish channels specifically for reporting harm, and conduct independent audits by professionals and academic researchers. Another act being put into place is the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act, also known as COPPA. In the United States, COPPA regulates the online collection of personal information from children under the age of 13. Websites and online services must obtain parental consent before collecting, using, or disclosing personal information from minors. Some of the protection being put into place on the platforms, such as Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, have their own terms of service and age restrictions being set into place. They usually set a minimum age requirement of 13 for a user to be able to even create an account on any of these platforms. Many platforms provide tools for reporting inappropriate content, cyberbullying, or accounts that may pose a threat to minors. They often have measures put into place to protect minors' accounts and limit interaction with unknown users. Some of the ethical issues being faced are that children on social media raise several ethical concerns due to their vulnerability and potential risks associated with online platforms. The main concern is children's mental health, and it can be negatively impacted by exposure to improper content on social media, cyberbullying, and unrealistic beauty standards being shown on all of these platforms. This can result in further problems including anxiety, despair, and low self-esteem. Concerns about platforms' ethical obligations to moderate content in order to protect children's welfare surface. Addictive design elements on social media platforms can result in youngsters spending too much time in front of screens, which can negatively affect their cognitive development, social connections, and physical health. Platforms have an ethical obligation to encourage responsible usage and reduce the danger of addiction. Some of the things that we should do to reduce children on social media is restrict your use of social media on sites that track likes or promote overindulgence. To assist teens in setting boundaries and developing self-control, make the use of screen time settings found on most devices or platforms. For teens, healthy brain development prohibits screen usage that interferes with at least 8 hours of sleep each night. Since this is the main time of their cognitive development during these ages, they need at least 8 to 10 hours of sleep each night. So limiting the screen time will help in their cognitive development growth. Have a weekly conversation with your teen about social media sites that help them feel comfortable sharing their experiences with you without the fear of being judged. Find out what they saw on social media and how they interpreted this content, and ask them hypothetical questions to find out how they might react in other online scenarios. Maintaining a balance between shielding kids from the possible dangers of technology and letting them experience its benefits is very crucial. Ultimately, parental advice is well-informed and active involvement in their children's online activities are the first steps towards creating positive and responsible connection with social media. Why we should do this is so that children can navigate the digital world securely and responsibly if they are taught responsible online behavior. It encourages them to communicate freely and gradually expose social media with the right direction as they get older in age. Overall, in the end, it is important to weigh the advantages and disadvantages of limiting kids' access to social media in the relation to their age, maturity level, unique situation, and other factors. We should do this because it's resulting in children having anxiety, desperation, and very low self-esteem related to social media use, particularly in children who compare themselves to others or are constantly exposed to well-chosen content. Social media platforms contain content that is not suitable for children, including explicit material, violence, or harmful challenges which can negatively impact their psychological development. Seeing certain things on social media can reflect, and they can use that in ways that can negatively impact and give them anxiety or give them the wrong image of what they should be doing. Some of the ways how we can do it are limiting children's access to social media, which involves a combination of parental guidance, setting boundaries, educating children about responsible usage, and leveraging technological tools. Many social media platforms have age restrictions already set on them, but make sure you adhere to these guidelines and delay or limit child's access until they reach the appropriate age. Utilize parental control features, which are available on all of these apps and certain websites in the settings. Set time limits and monitor their online activities. This helps regulating and supervising children's online behavior. Help children develop critical thinking skills to evaluate online content. Teach them how to identify misinformation and how to avoid scams and distinguish between reliable and unreliable sources. Encourage children to engage in offline activities such as reading, playing outdoors, hobbies, spending quality time with family and friends. Limiting screen time naturally reduces their exposure to social media, and it can increase their development and cognitive abilities by doing things outside of social media. These are just some of my resources I listed throughout my presentation.